My name is Shaenna Berlin, and I am a junior in EAPS focusing in atmospheric chemistry and energy studies. So I grew up in Jackson, Wyoming, which is the small ski town out in the west. And I went to public school and I really liked math, science, computers. Then I came to MIT, still not quite sure what I was interested in, but kind of interested in environmental something because of my background where I spent so much time out in the natural environment. Last summer and fall, I did a year-op with Chris Hill, which was focusing on developing intuitive user interfaces for simulators of rotating fluid dynamics. And these would be put into place into courses in high school, middle school, and undergraduate, in possibly graduate classes as well, to sort of help increase people's understanding of fluid dynamics. Also, this upcoming summer, I'm going to be doing ozone research in Boulder with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, so I'm quite excited for that. And yeah, those are the two main projects so far that I've worked on. For my year-op last summer, I was working mainly with just one advisor, Chris Hill, on a sort of project that was collaborative between a few other professors and other universities in the area. But for the most part, I would come into work and just sit at my computer and sometimes meet with the advisor, but just really try to work through problems by myself. And I think I really learned a lot from that, a lot about computing, a lot about programming, and a lot about just good ways to solve the problems. I did the freshman Terrascope program my freshman year, which was originally what made me interested in EAPS actually. And we went to Abu Dhabi during spring break, which was fantastic. And every year they go to some different place for spring break. Some were very exotic. And we looked at carbon neutral urban planning there, which was very cool. And also, I took an experimental atmospheric chemistry class last semester where we did field trips. We went to Western Massachusetts to set up CO2 monitoring devices. And also, we got to I rode my bike around with a particulate matter sensor and measured the air quality behind different cars and in different parts of the Boston area. So originally when I came to MIT, I did not even consider EAPS really. I thought I was going to go into engineering, maybe either chemical or environmental engineering. But after I took this Terrascope freshman program, I really loved EAPS and I decided that it was a great department. And just so many of the classes seemed so interesting and so relevant to things like climate change and energy, which are huge problems facing the world today. So I decided to join EAPS, and working through that, I took a bunch of different classes. And one of the really nice things about the curriculum is that it's very personalizable. And so eventually I kind of figured out, oh, I'm really focused in on this atmospheric chemistry, because I always liked chemistry, but I didn't really want to major in chemistry. So the class I've enjoyed most is that experimental atmospheric chemistry course. One of the main reasons I chose EAPS was because it had so many really interesting classes, but the lab class really kind of made it seem it was so interesting, so fun to apply the science and go out there in the field and actually do something with it. I think after I graduate, I'd probably like to continue on to graduate school, and then I'm not sure, I'd either like to go into research or into perhaps something like environmental consulting. I have really enjoyed having EAPS be such a small department. I think it's really wonderful to get to know not only all the other students in my year, or in the entire major really, but also all the faculty. I mean, there's more faculty than students, so we really get to know them very personally, and they are experts in their field. I mean, they're top-notch scientists and they know us, which I think just leads to so many opportunities in the future, whereas in some other majors you could kind of just get lost in the big sea of people. Being an EAPS major kind of has some unique challenges in that you sometimes will be in a class with only 5 people, and if you don't work together with those people, you could get completely lost. And also in that sometimes it's hard to figure out, since there's so much flexibility in what you could decide to do, making a coherent course plan and actually choosing a solid direction is sometimes very challenging. The courses themselves are obviously challenging. Everything at MIT is challenging, but one of the big things with EAPS is that at least they're all really interesting. So it's not so bad to be working really hard on something if you're really interested in what you're doing, at least. Another really kind of cool, nerdy thing about EAPS is we're members of the Weather and Climate Club, where we do a weather challenge, which is a national competition where different schools compete. There's quite a few schools, a couple hundred schools, and they have to submit weather forecasts for a different location the location switches every 2 weeks, and you submit your forecasts to predict the high, low, wind and precipitation for each day, which is really kind of fun. You get to learn a lot about the weather in different locations. It might be helpful in choosing a future place to live, and that's been a pretty fun experience. And also I write the weather forecasts for our school newspaper, The Tech, which is kind of also fun. Just learn a lot about the weather, a lot about the climate. I spend a lot of time outdoors, so I do care a lot about the weather. And MIT has a really good, we do surprisingly well in the competition considering we don't actually have a meteorology specific major or class. I think there should be way more undergrads in EAPS because it's just a very happy major. Everyone, they really love us here. They really try hard to make us have a great experience and learn a lot. And I'm surprised more people don't do it.